Welcome to Artifology, the study of artifacts. In this video, I'll be exploring the Tandy 1000 TL2 as part of #SetTandy. This particular machine was our family computer purchased around 1990. It's accompanied by a Tandy CM5 color monitor, AT-style Tandy keyboard, Tandy deluxe joystick, and serial mouse. Before I power it on, let's take a look at the hardware. This machine came standard with a 720 kilobyte floppy disk drive, and if I turn the machine around, you can see the rear ports, where we have keyboard, left and right joystick, serial port, a card edge connector for the parallel port, the RGB monitor port, and we have a modem installed as well. Opening the machine is a simple matter of removing two screws. And here. And lifting the cover. Here we can see the 40 megabyte hard drive add-in that we added shortly after purchasing the machine. 4 expansion slots, real-time clock battery. The hard drive is mounted on a mounting sled, which can be removed by removing these two screws. And then firmly sliding the drive back and disconnecting the cables, which I've already disconnected the power, and the data cable comes off like this. Like so. The 720K floppy drive is only held in with two screws on the right side, so they can just be unscrewed. Tandy like to use this style of 3.5-inch drive on their machines that has no power connector, because the power is delivered over the data cable. This makes it incompatible with most other drives of this type. The 5.25-inch drive was added much later, after I picked one up at a garage sale for $5, but is otherwise a standard drive that would have appeared in a Tandy 1000 machine. It's mounted on these plastic rails. You just have to unhook them and pull the cords out before sliding it up. To remove the power supply, we first have to remove the back panel, which is held in by two plastic clips on the bottom here, such as this one, and there's one on the other side. It just flips up and removes like so. The power supply is held in by 3 screws. One here next to the power jack, one over here. And one on the inside here. Then the power supply removes by simply pushing in to clear the power input jack and then lifting. Don't forget to disconnect from the motherboard as well. We can see the back side of the power supply is simply open, since it would normally be against this back plate here. Fortunately, I don't anticipate any issues with this power supply. With the main components removed, we can now get a good look at the motherboard, where we have an 8 MHz 286 manufactured by AMD and a socket for a 287 math coprocessor. Here we have the 640K of RAM with slots for expansion. Now that it's all back together, let's try turning it on. And it seems to boot just fine. Got to check it on a floppy disk here. Let's see what happens. Look at the basic configuration for this machine. DOS 3.3, host date of April 14th, 1989, 286 processor. Let's run the main system benchmark. So with a CPU speed rating of 1,342 dry stones. At the time, Tandy was promoting their in-house developed GUI for Tandy 1000s called DeskMate. If we hit selection 7 here, we can try it out. So, as you can see, it's mouse driven, if the mouse works. You see 5 drive letters at the top, A and B, the 2 floppy drives. C is the first partition on the hard drive, D is the ROM drive, and E is the second hard drive partition. That's right, this machine has DOS and DeskMate in ROM. So if you do not have any floppy inserted or any hard drive, it will boot off the ROM drive and let you use the machine that way. I'm going to back to the menu view, which is the default view for DeskMate. If you've used DeskMate before, this screen probably looks familiar. So each one of these boxes is a separate DeskMate program, or in some cases DOS programs, and each entry under it is a file that can be opened with that program. Accessing one of these programs is as simple as double-clicking on the program name. Or you could double-click or hit enter on the file that you want to open. Some programs don't have any saved files, such as the Hangman game, and you just double-click on it directly. One of the features of this computer are its multimedia capabilities. For example, the music and sound applications here. If we pick something, you see it will load a waveform of this sound clip, and we can play it.
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
You can also compose music on this machine with the music application. It does usually take a minute for the computer to arrange the music, however, so... As far as Deskmate's graphical features, it came with a basic paint program called Draw. This allows you to do some basic graphical editing. One thing I thought for sure that I'd have to do when breaking this computer out is replace the real-time clock battery, but apparently it is somewhat still good, as in at least it has the correct year. Being a machine with Tandy graphics and sound, of course we had some games installed. Most of them are what would be called edutainment these days. Here's a potential classic.
Welcome to Dinosaur Match. Choose the game you want to play. I want to match. I want to match dinosaur shadows. I want the cards to be. I want the cards to be big. I want to play. I want to play with Zach. I want Zach to be. I want Zach to be very smart. I want to. I want to go. Match. Dromaeosaurus.
I was able to locate the original documentation for this computer and Radio Shack catalogs from the time. As equipped, this machine would have cost over $2,400 in 1990, or over $5,000 today. And that's the basic tour of this Tandy 1000 TL2. In the future, I'd like to image the hard drive. I'd also like to max out the memory and install a 287 coprocessor at some point. And that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Bye.